The line at the upscale downtown bank moved slowly under the bright daylight floating in through the wide glass windows. But nobody noticed time more than Mara Halden. Thin, exhausted, her faded blue sweater pulled tight around her as though she were holding herself together. Her hands trembled as she clutched her old debit card, the corners worn from years of swiping and hoping. She had come only for one thing, the smallest, simplest request: to check whether the final payment from her temporary job had arrived. She whispered it to herself like a prayer. She didn't expect sympathy. She didn't expect help. She just needed to know if she could buy groceries for her younger brother tonight. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and real-life miracles, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Touch of Kindness. Your support keeps these stories alive. In front of Mara stood a sharply dressed man in a tailored gray suit, Grant Ellingwood, a well-known millionaire entrepreneur with a reputation for being sharp, impatient, and dismissive of anything that slowed down his day. He tapped his shiny watch. He sighed loudly. He glanced back at Mara as though she were an inconvenience placed on earth solely to delay him. Grant was used to control, to speed, to a world that bent around his time. But life would soon show him something far more valuable than anything his wealth had ever taught him. When it was finally Mara's turn, she approached the teller with cautious steps, as though afraid the floor might disappear beneath her. Her voice cracked when she spoke. She asked if she could check her balance, nothing more. But the moment she said it, Grant allowed a quiet laugh to slip out behind her. Not cruel, perhaps, but careless, out of touch with the gravity of her world. Mara heard it. Everyone did. Her cheeks heated, but she kept her eyes down. She was used to being invisible. The teller, an older woman with kind eyes, asked Mara to insert her card. Mara pressed her thumb against the machine to steady her shaking. She convinced herself she would see enough for 2 bags of groceries and maybe bus fare for the week. But when the numbers loaded, the teller blinked, leaned in, and tried again. Mara frowned. The screen reflected something she had never seen next to her name. A balance she couldn't comprehend. 2 commas. 6 zeros. It was impossible. The teller asked her to wait while she confirmed something in her system. Grant, curious despite himself, stepped closer and caught a glimpse of the screen. His expression shifted instantly. The laugh died. His posture straightened. For the first time he really looked at Mara, not as an obstacle, but as a mystery. The manager hurried over, breathless, asking for Mara's ID. He explained that an unclaimed inheritance, something Mara had no idea existed, had finally been approved after years of legal confusion. A distant relative, someone she barely remembered, had left everything to her. The money had been locked in disputes and bureaucracy. But now, it was hers. All of it. Mara stumbled back, her vision blurring. She gripped the counter, trying to understand how someone who had rationed meals, worked double shifts, and patched her brother's school shoes could suddenly be the owner of a fortune. Her knees weakened, but Grant reached out and steadied her without hesitation. His voice lowered, coated with genuine concern, asking if she was all right. This time, there was no impatience, no arrogance, only a man realizing that life did not measure worth the way he always assumed. As she calmed, Mara's first words were not about the money. She asked softly whether she could still withdraw just enough for groceries and her brother's school lunch. The simplicity of her request hit Grant harder than the number he'd seen on the screen. A woman with millions now at her fingertips, yet her mind still anchored to survival. Something inside him shifted. Outside in the daylight, Mara sat on a bench, overwhelmed by gratitude, confusion, relief, and disbelief. Grant sat beside her, quietly listening as she talked about her brother, her struggles, and how she had never expected more from life than a chance to get through each day. Grant realized she possessed something money had never given him, humility, resilience, and the ability to remain kind even when the world wasn't. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that life can change in one unexpected moment, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And before you go, write one word in the comments. Kindness. Mara eventually stood, sunlight warming her face, knowing the future no longer frightened her. Grant watched her walk away, carrying nothing but hope, proof that sometimes the quietest people hold the loudest miracles.